place is such a pig pen. Yesterday was so much fun. And now for round 2. But first, let's see what goodies we get to play with. Oh.
Excuse me. Sorry to bother you, but did Mr. Peterson come this way?
Mr. Peterson? No, I don't think so. I mean, I haven't seen him.
Well, that's strange. I'm sure I saw him walk this way. Mr. Peterson?
Yes, who is it?
Oh, it's Miss Ryan. I need to speak with you, sir.
Okay, just a moment.
See, I thought... Where'd he go?
Ta-da!
Ah! Oh. I was expecting Mr. Peterson. I didn't know anyone else was back there.
Miss Ryan, I am Mr. Peterson.
What?
It's because of Mabel. She somehow has the idea I'm her personal guide. And if I'm going to get any work done around here, I got to disguise myself. Besides, I can't keep up with her anyway.
Okay, but why the IncrediClown costume?
I know, I look ridiculous. But it's all I could come up with on short notice. Just don't look at me.
Good idea.
So, what did you want to talk to me about?
Oh, this email just came in from Adventure TV. Our scores are dropping, and we're in jeopardy of losing the award this year.
That's disappointing. But I'm not surprised. There have been a lot of strange things going on around here lately.
Any clue yet who's responsible?
No, not really. Perhaps just some pranksters.
Well, don't you think it's coincidental that it's happening the same time Adventure TV is here? I think someone's out to get us.
Well, that could be. And if so, we've got to keep our eyes open and watch out for any suspicious activity. In the meantime, we've got to get to work and act like professionals.
Right. Like professionals.
Why don't you go prepare a memo to inform the staff?
And who should I say it's from? Petey the Clown?
Ha ha, very funny. Speaking of getting to work, looks like someone needs to clean up around here. Huh. Petey the Clown. That's not bad.
Aw, their scores are down. Boo-hoo. Poor little IncrediWorld. Wow, wow, wow. Now, to make sure they don't win that award, it's Operation Sabotage Theme Park, the sequel! And if you thought yesterday was fun, just wait for today. And now, let's check our inventory. Pancake syrup. Sticky. Petroleum jelly. Slimy. Itching powder. Oh, nasty. Duct tape. Don't leave home without it. Huh. What's this? Holy Bible? A Bible? Oh, come on, Millard. You've got work to do.
Hey, Cody, I was up all night reading this contract. Almost got it done. Just one small section to go, and then I'm all done with this bad boy. Whoa! That's really gnarly down there, dude.
Oh, man. A brand new Yummo bar wasted.
Wasted? What are you talking about?
Really? Should I?
Oh, dude, if you don't, I will.
Okay. Here it goes. Oh, that is gnarly.
Dude, it's a Yummo bar. You're right. It's worth it. Oh! Dude, I was just kidding. I can't believe you just did that. Oh.
I know. I can't believe it either.
Oh.
And you know what else I can't believe?
What's that?
That we're actually going to have our own TV show. I mean, how cool is that?
I know, I just keep thinking it's a dream.
Yeah, just think. In just a minute, we'll sign that piece of paper. It'll change our lives forever. We'll be rich and famous. So, what are you going to buy first?
I don't know. I can't decide between a new boat or a truck.
Perhaps you won't have to decide.
Oh, you're here.
Well, I told you I'd be here first thing. Now, let's execute these contracts and get down to business, shall we?
Yes, we shall.
Very good, Cody.
What's this?
It's a signing bonus.
Sweet! Hey, Gabe, she's right. You won't have to decide. You can get the truck and the boat.
Next? Is there a problem?
It's just that
Listen, I don't have a lot of time here, and until we have a contract, none of those dreams you're having can come true. No boat, no truck, no house, no expensive vacations, no nothing.
I know. I just haven't finished reading the contract yet.
Well, Cody signed off on it. Don't you trust your partner? He obviously read it.
Did you read it, Cody?
Well,
Cody?
not every single word.
Cody!
Okay, I guess I skipped a couple sections, but it was so long and so boring, and all that party the first part and party the second part stuff. Why do they gotta talk like that?
Can you just give me 1 minute? I just have this last section to read, please.
Like I said before, it's standard language, but whatever.
Hey, Cody, come here.
Yeah, what's up?
Read that sentence.
Uh-oh. I guess I skipped that part.
Is something wrong?
The party of the first part, that's us, shall not quote from any religious book or scriptures, nor make any reference whatsoever to God or a creator.
So what's the problem?
We can't say anything about God?
Oh, well, no, you can say whatever you want about God. Just not during a show, that's all. You understand, we are a television network. We have a large and diverse viewing audience.
And you don't want to offend anyone, is that it?
That's exactly right. Can't we just enjoy learning about animals without always having to bring God into it?
No, we can't. Because that's the only reason why we do our show. I mean, animals are great, but there's a much bigger picture here. We want the kids to learn about God by studying his animals. We want them to see that their creator is an incredible master designer, that he's wise and powerful and good. And we are not about to let them leave with some ideal that it all just happened by random chance.
Think about it. Wouldn't it be strange to go on and on about some excellent painting and not even talk about the painter? That's why we give credit to God. So, I guess you can have your check back.
Excuse me? You mean you're backing out of the deal?
No God, no contract. It's as simple as that.
But we're Adventure TV! And in case you need to be reminded, we're kind of a big deal. I can't believe this! You're turning down the opportunity of a lifetime. You know that, don't you? The opportunity of a lifetime. What is that sound?
It was wonderful. I was walking through the park and I saw this new water ride. Oh, just a minute. I've got to get these wet shoes off.
Look at her, Gabe. She's soaked.
There, that's better. Yes, 1 minute dry as a bone and the next minute wet as a fish. Yeah, well, I gotta go. All right. Bye, Edna. Hi, everybody. Don't I look spiffy?
Hi, Mabel. It looks like you found whitewater explosion.
And drank most of it, too. Remind me to keep my mouth shut next time. Hello, I'm Mabel. I hope I wasn't interrupting an important meeting.
No, that's quite all right. We've just finished.
Oh, that's good. Don't you just love the extreme team? I always learn so much. Now, I love birds, have for years, but I never realized how wonderfully designed they were until I saw their show. You know, you can see God's fingerprints everywhere.
Well, that's nice. I have to go. Gentlemen, it's been interesting.
Thanks for the encouragement, Mabel.
Oh, you're welcome. You know, I tell everybody about your show. I think it's wonderful what you boys do, how you talk about God all the time. You know, we should never be ashamed to do that. Oh, my, look, it's Mr. Peterson in a clown costume.
What? Hey, is that really you?
Yes, I left my. Going back to get my watch. I left it backstage.
So what's the occasion? You going to a birthday party?
Well, it's kind of a long story. But Mabel, look at you. You're soaked.
She went on whitewater explosion.
You're kidding.
No.
By yourself?
Oh, it was so nice of you to spend the day with me yesterday, so I thought I'd give you the day off today.
Oh, well, you didn't have to do that.
Oh, really? Oh, I was hoping you'd say that. Come on, let's go. We got lots to do.
Welcome back, park riders. I am so excited to see you today. I've got a question for you. When you've been to like a zoo or an amusement park, have you ever been to an animal show? Oh, I love animal shows. I've seen all kinds of shows. I've seen some reptile shows. I've seen a dolphin show. Well, today we've got a special exhibit for you, and I'm gonna let you guess what it's about. I'm gonna give you a hint. These animals can fly. What do you think it is? Did you say birds? That's right. We're gonna have a special day where we learn about how God designed all the amazing birds. Did you know that the Bible mentions several different types of birds by name? Well, we're going to be checking them out and seeing how God designed different parts of the bird in a special way. And we're going to do that through 3 stations today. Well, we got to get ready for our first station because Miss Barb's going to be coming along to teach us about our amazing designer God and these amazing birds that he created. But the first thing you need to do is you need to get a nest ready. So maybe you want to gather some pillows or cushions or even stuffed animals as you have them and make yourself a little nest. Maybe you can grab a blanket or something like that and put it down in the middle and get yourself all cozy in your nest because here comes Miss Barb with our first station.
Okay, is everybody ready for station 1? I hope you're in your nest. Here we go talking a little bit about birds because we know God created the birds and every other animal. Animals didn't just happen, as we've talked about this week. They're amazing. All right, so here's what I want you to do. I'm going to put a 20-second countdown on the clock, and in that time, I want to see how many different kinds of birds you can think of. There are a lot of birds mentioned even in the Bible, but any kind of bird. You might be from the zoo, it might be from your backyard, anything. I'll give you a couple just to get you started, okay? It could be something like an ostrich maybe, or maybe an owl, okay? All right, here comes 20 seconds. Shout out as many birds as you can think of. Go! Did you think of at least maybe 10, maybe even more? There's a lot of birds, but I want to see if you can remember what day the birds were created and the swimming creatures too. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to stand up and we're going to flap a little bit. I want you to flap your wings to show what day you think God made the birds. If you think it was day 1, just do 1 flap. If you think it was day 2, do 2 flaps. Okay, ready? Go! Did you do 5 flaps? Because that's the day that God made birds. And we know they didn't just happen by evolution. Remember that big word? When they just go from one thing and they become another thing, maybe dinosaurs, and they end up becoming birds. No, God created them. Okay, here comes our next one. Well, you'll see on this poster, Adam is naming that bird. That's one of the jobs God gave him to do. Because at the beginning of time, before anything bad had happened, everything was good and work was such a pleasure. And Adam had the job of naming the animals. Don't you think that'd be a fun job to name all the animals? You might want to pause the video for a minute and just think of a few animals, like maybe a hippo or a lion. If they were named something else, what would you name them? So remember, Adam was smart and he had pleasant jobs, one of which was naming the animals. Now we talked about this, how animals were given for food to man. And that is recorded in Genesis 9, 1 through 3, and also in Numbers. And so we know that after the big flood of Noah's days, we could have eaten birds or other animals as well. And I know, I certainly like to. Have you ever eaten chicken? Like a chicken, fried chicken or a chicken sandwich? I have, I love it. Well, we could have done that anytime after the flood. So God gave us animals that we can eat if we want to. The Bible reminds us that animals belong to God. In fact, we all belong to God. Remember, we said we aren't animals. We are special, made in God's image. But we too belong to Creator God. And because He is our Creator, He is our Maker, He is the one that sets the rules. And we are just to obey them. And He knows what's best for us. So when we obey, it is always a good thing. And our last poster reminds us that God takes care of His creation. I'm so glad God didn't just make everything and just go away. No, He takes care every day of His creation, of every animal and of us. That makes me feel so special to know that Creator God is caring for me every day. I'm never out of His mind. He loves me.
Are you ready to move on to station number 2? This station is called Unique Beaks. Can you say that 3 times fast? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Unique beaks, unique speaks, unique speaks. Well, I didn't do so good. Maybe you did better than me, but this station is going to be so much fun. Miss Barb's going to be coming along, and for each beak type that we're going to talk about, she's going to show you some different supplies that you can gather from around your house, and then you can test these out yourself. If you don't have the supplies or you don't have all the supplies, don't worry about it. You can just watch along and have fun doing it that way as well. So here we go with our unique beaks.
Okay, now we're on to station 2, and this is about birds' beaks. Now, this is just one great way to show you birds couldn't have just happened, just like any animal couldn't have just happened. Their beaks are all so special. God made them just for each different bird. So we're going to do some little experiments to check out which beak works best with which bird. So let's get our stuff for our first experiment. The first bird we're going to talk about we call the stabbers, something like a stork. God made their beaks extra special to get their food. So if you want to do this with us, you're going to need a few things like an envelope or a plastic baggie, a straw, and then maybe some kind of skewer. It could even be a toothpick, okay? Be careful with those. And then you'll need just a little bit of something like a gummy fruit or a gummy worm or something like that, or Swedish fish or something. All right, now you're going to try each of these different things, and you're going to see which one picks up the food easiest. How did God make it? Now, you go ahead, if you have the stuff, and do this yourself. You'll just need to pause the video for a minute, and if you don't, just wait, and you can come back and do it with me. All right, let's try first this, the envelope or this. Now, how easy is it to pick up? We can get it, but they kind of slide back off, right? How easy is it to get it with the straw? Not so easy. How about the toothpick or the skewer? Ha-ha. I think that's the easiest one, and that is why they're called stabbers, because God made them so they can just get a fish, and they can just stab it, and then they can swallow it whole. That couldn't just happen. God made them that way. So the next bird we're talking about are called the scoopers, and it would be something like a pelican. Now here are some of the supplies you could get. You can kind of grab something else if you don't have exactly these things, but if you have a pair of tweezers, you need a bowl with some water, you need some kind of a strainer. I happen to have a strainer spoon, but you might actually use a little strainer. If you have something like play fish, or you could use even packing peanuts or just some little thing that floats. And you need a couple straws, okay? All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the fish in the bowl so they float, or whatever you have, something that floats, all right? And we're gonna try these different things and see which one of these is the easiest to get the fish out with. So if you have the supplies, go ahead and pause this now, and if not, you can just wait and do it with me. All right, let's try the tweezers first. All right, I probably could get it if I kept trying. Not easy though. The next thing, the strainer. And the last, the straw, or even straws. If I took 2, well, it's not so easy. So did you say that you thought the easiest was the strainer? That's what a pelican's beak is like. Okay, that's what the scoopers use. They get their food, they go down and they get water and fish. The water drains out. That's how God designed their beak, and they're left with just the fish for their food. Isn't that cool that God gave them a beak that's like a strainer, takes all the water out? This couldn't have just happened. God thinks of everything. So the next birds we're going to talk about are the pickers. That would be something like a blue jay. So some of the supplies you can get if you're going to do it with us, you need tweezers, you need maybe a nutcracker. I didn't have a nutcracker, so I just grabbed a funnel, and a small strainer. Now you also need some dirt in a cup, or it could also be, if you really want to be fun about it, you can go crush up some Oreos. Ooh, that'd be fun to be your dirt. And then you need something like gummies or something that you can put into the dirt, okay? So that's supposed to be like worms and little bugs and stuff, that would just be fun that you're just pretending. Okay, so we're going to see which one of these things is going to be like the blue jay or the picker's beak. Go ahead and try it now, and if you don't have the stuff, just wait a minute and you can do it with me. All right, I wonder which one of these you would guess is the most like the picker's beak. Let's try the tweezers first and see if we can get, okay, that was pretty easy. All right, how about the funnel or the nutcracker? All right, well, even if I get it, I don't think it's gonna come down through there. Nope, it's not coming through the hole. And how about, definitely not. Nope, nothing. So did you say the tweezers? That's the most like the beak God made the pickers. And they like to pick around in the dirt, and they get little bugs and worms, and so they have these little beaks that are very much like tweezers, and they can get things very fine. That couldn't have just happened. God made them that way. Okay, the next bird beak we're going to talk about are for the birds we call the drinkers, something like maybe a hummingbird. So if you're going to do this with us, you'll need something like an envelope, a straw, and maybe a spring-form clothespin would work. Okay, or you could get a slotted spoon if you wanted to. Then you also need something tall and skinny that you could put some water in. We colored ours with a little bit of food coloring, but you don't have to do that. All right, so go get your supplies if you're going to do it with us. Just pause the video, and otherwise, wait a second, we'll do it together. Which one of these 3 tools do you think is most like a hummingbird's beak, an envelope, a straw, or a clothespin? Let's try and see how we can get the water out. Let's try this first. See, that isn't working very well at all. Forget that one. Okay, how about a straw? Would this work? And how about a clothespin? Can we get the nectar, the drink that they're trying to get? Doesn't work. You should have said the straw. This one is the way that they can get all these liquids out of deep inside of flowers. And that's what some birds do. They drink nectar from inside flowers, so they need a straw-like beak. That couldn't have just happened. God gave them that straw-like beak. The next bird we're talking about is a cracker, or something like a macaw. Now let's see if you can find these things, something like tongs, maybe a pancake turner or some other kind of utensil like that, and maybe a nutcracker or a pair of pliers. Also, as long as you're not allergic to them, you can find some kind of a seed that's got a nut on it. These are pistachios, or you can use a sunflower kernel or a pumpkin seed, something like that. Okay, anything like that would work that they have to try to crack open, because that's what we're going to do. All right, so go get the stuff if you're doing it with me, and otherwise wait a minute and we'll do it together. All right, I wonder which one of these you think is going to do the best at cracking open the food. Let's try, first of all, I can pick it up pretty easily, but it's not as easy to crack it open with the tongs. Again, I can pick it up, but it's not that easy to crack it open. Even if I do, I have a feeling this one's gonna work the best. Easy peasy, right? Woo! So even if you managed to do it with these other ones, somehow you would have had to work at it. Definitely the nutcracker or the pliers works the best. That couldn't have just happened. God made them that way. He gave them those strong beaks and also a tongue that's got a bone in it that work together to be able to crack nuts really easily. That's kind of fun. Woo! And our last bird we're going to talk about is called the catcher, something like a vermilion flycatcher. So if you're going to do it with us, get something like an envelope. And if you have anything like a little fishnet or something like that, like a scoop maybe, or a fork, okay? And if you happen to have something, anything that could be pretend bugs. We're using toasted oat cereal because maybe it'd be fun to eat a little of those afterwards. But whatever you want to use to simulate little bugs. Okay, so go ahead and get the stuff if you're doing it with us, and we'll do it together in a minute. All right, so let's pretend that these are bugs and they're flying along. Shh. And you're trying to catch that bug, okay? If this came along, does that really work? Not so well. What about if you're flying along? Okay. How about this one if you're flying along? I missed it, but let's try again. Did you say you think this one works best? I think so. And God designed these birds to have beaks that are kind of broad and flat. And they fly around with them open all the time so that the bugs just end up flying right into them. Okay, it's kind of funny. So that couldn't have just happened. God made them that way, and he made every bird with its own special beak. You might want to check these out in your backyard. It's pretty cool. God is an amazing creator.
Aren't those beaks unique? Well, they sure are because God thought of everything. We're ready to move on to station number 3, and it's called Fantastic Feet. Birds have fantastic beaks, and they have fantastic feet. For this one, you can get snuggled back inside your nest because Miss Barb's going to be showing you some different birds, and you're going to have to match up which feet go with that bird. So pay close attention and see if you can figure out which fantastic foot goes with that fantastic bird.
The first set of fantastic feet belong to the perchers. They're birds that are something like turtle doves or swallows. And they're even discussed in the Bible in Song of Solomon. Let's read this verse together. The flowers appear on the earth, the time of singing has come, and the voice of the turtle dove is heard in our land. Okay, so turtle doves have really cool feet. And we're going to show you a picture of a bird that's something like that, a percher bird, and you need to decide what kind of feet you think it would have. So the perchers are really cool because God designed them so that they would be able to stay on a tree branch without falling off, even if they're asleep. So they have 3 long toes in the front and 1 long toe. It looks the same as the ones in the front, but it's 1 long one in the back, and it can wrap around that tree branch, and they stay nice and sturdy. So let's see if you can figure out which set of feet belong to the perchers. Remember, you're looking for 3 long toes in the front and 1 toe in the back. Do you think it's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6? Did you say 3? It is number 3. Now remember, this couldn't have just happened. God designed them that way, and I'm so glad because they just fall off otherwise. This is so cool that God always thinks of everything. He gave them just the feet they needed. Now, the second set of fantastic feet we're going to talk about are the climbers. These are the birds like a woodpecker that need feet that can climb up a tree trunk. Every bird doesn't do that, but this one does. So this bird, you're going to be looking for 2 toes in the front and 2 toes in the back, and those toes just grasp onto that tree trunk as they're moving their way up. All right, so let's see if you can figure out which one it is. Did you say number 5? If you did, that's right. Remember, it couldn't have just happened. God made them that way. The third set of fantastic feet belong to what we call the no-flyers, which is something like an ostrich. Now, if you want to read along with me, here's a great little verse from Job 39 about the ostrich. It says, "The wings of the ostrich wave proudly." One of those Bible birds. So the no-flyers are cool because they just need to be able to run fast or walk fast forward, sort of like our feet. Their toes are all in the front. They have 2 or 3 big toes, and they even have like a pad at the bottom of their foot, a soft pad, so they won't sink into the sand. All right, so let's see if you can figure out which one's theirs. You're looking for 2 or 3 big toes that are facing just forward. Did you say number 6? If you did, you're right. Remember, that couldn't have just happened. God knew what they needed, and he made them that way. The fourth one is called the paddler. This would be something like maybe a pelican that likes to swim. So God made these birds to be swimmers. It's kind of like if you're at the pool and you put on flippers, right, and they're webbed. Well, that's what their feet are like, and that helps them with their swimming. Always. That couldn't have just happened. God made them that way. So let's see if you can figure out which foot belongs to the paddlers. Did you say 4? If you did, you're right. Okay, the next foot is called the raker. This is something like a chicken, a hen, okay? So God gave them feet that are kind of like rakes. So you got to be thinking about what would a chicken foot look like. And here's a verse that has something to do with a hen in Matthew 23. Let's read it together. It says this: "How often would I have gathered your children together as a hen gathers her brood under her wings?" All right, so God made this with sort of, like I said, a chicken foot. Looks sort of like a rake. Which one do you think looks most like a chicken foot? Did you say 1? If you did, you're right. Remember, it couldn't have just happened. God made them that way because that's the kind of foot they needed to rake through and find their grub. And our last fantastic feet that we're going to talk about are the birds of prey. They have awesome feet. Now, some birds have curved claws on their toes, like these birds of prey, and this allows them to catch their prey, which means their animal. For instance, if it's a fish, eagles, or ospreys, they have rough feet, and they have long, curved talons, which help them hold on to slippery fish. Other ones, like the harpy eagle, they have such huge and powerful claws, they could easily crush a monkey. Now, snake eagles' powerful toes, well, they're just right for catching and holding slithery snakes. God even gave them protective scales over their legs so that they wouldn't be able to get snake bites. All of these special designs didn't just happen. God made them that way. And he even talks about these animals in Job 9. Let's read this together. Job 9:26 says, "They go by like an eagle swooping on the prey." So they have just what they need to be able to catch their prey. And every other one of these birds has just the feet they need to do the job that God designed them. Aren't you in awe of God, our amazing creator?
Wow. Didn't God design all these birds in such an amazing way? And we only talked about a few parts of the birds. And we only talked about a few different types of birds. And as we know, birds are just a few of the many amazing animals God has created. Matthew 6:26 says, "Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they?" God took such amazing care when he created the birds and he created all the other animals as well. But he just didn't stop there. He continues to care for them to make sure that they are fed and that they have everything they need. But think about you and me. God cares for us too. He takes care of us because we are his most precious creation.
All right, here we are at our day 4 Now What segment. And let's start out by searching online together a little bit for some pictures of birds. And when you look at those, since we just talked about the beaks and the feet, look at their beaks and their feet and see if you can remember if it's a stabber or a drinker or any of those different ones and what its feet are like as well. A raker or a percher, you know how we talked about those. And then I just want you to marvel together for a little bit about the amazing God who made these birds. Isn't God incredible? Okay, and now it's time to talk about what did I learn today about God, who he is or what he's done or what he's doing. I know I've been thinking about birds and how when I look at a bird, I am never going to think about a bird the same ever again. I'm always going to be reminded of who God is, and that can make me praise him. And it also makes me realize how incredibly amazing and how incredibly caring God is. Because we know that he cares about those birds, but he cares so much more about me. What did you learn today about God, who he is, or what he's doing? Talk about it for a minute. All right, here's our awesome activity for today. I think we should try some bird watching, don't you? So if you have a spot where you can watch from the window or even outside, you'll have to be kind of quiet. Check out some real live birds and see what their beaks and their feet are like. All right, have fun and we'll see you tomorrow. So today's craft is a bitty bird feeder, okay? Looks something like this. These are fun. So I'll tell you in a second how to make them. But you know, when I think of birds or anything in creation, what it really does is just makes me want to praise God for how amazing he is, because we know all this stuff could not have just happened. It's too complicated. It's kind of ridiculous to even think it could have just happened. And so it makes me praise God and realize how wonderful he is. And if you haven't read Psalm 104 in a while, it is so exciting to read. Just all the different things that God is taking care of and using. But I'm just going to read you one line. It says, "Oh Lord my God, you are very great." And I love thinking about how great God is. And when I think about creation, it helps strengthen my faith, because I know God made all this and he cares about it, but he cares even more about me. So when we make our bitty bird feeders, all you're gonna need are 1 or 2 or 3 pipe cleaners, or you can also use yarn or string or something else like that. It doesn't have to be a pipe cleaner. You need some kind of a cereal that's got holes in it. So it could be something like Cheerios or Fruit Loops or something like that. And then all you have to do, this is so simple, is you just kind of twist your thing how you want it to be and you string them on there. Here's one that's twisty, here's one that's straight, here's one that's a loop, okay? Now, if it's got something like this, at the end you're gonna have to twist it off down at the bottom, and at the top you can either make a little hook so that you could put this on a tree branch, or you could also make it a little loop if you want to just put it on that way. Okay, either way works. And then you can actually watch the birds, which is really cool. You could watch them eat. Okay, so that's all there is to the bitty bird feeder. Happy bird watching. Reese, that sounds like bird calls. What are you doing?
Well, I just went to the Wings of Wonder bird show. Wow, it was incredible. Have you ever heard of a thermometer bird?
I can't say that I have.
Well, it's a bird that uses its beak to make sure its nest is exactly the right temperature. It sticks its beak right down into the nest, and it can tell if it's even just a teeny bit too hot or too cold. And if it's not just right, it uses its beak to stir up the nest a little bit to get it to the right temperature.
Wow. I mean, that couldn't have just happened. God had to make them that way.
And they showed us how God made birds lightweight so they can fly easily.
Oh, yeah? What did they say?
Well, first, God gave them hollow bones.
Wow, I know we don't have hollow bones. If I tried to fly, I think I would just go splat.
That's right. But that's not all. He also gave them air sacs, which is kind of like having lightweight balloons inside of you.
Wow! Something like this? Woo!
Yeah. And God didn't give them big, heavy teeth, but a lightweight beak. And since birds don't have teeth, they swallow their food whole. It goes down into their stomach where juices break it down into smaller pieces. But it didn't stop there.
You're right, Reese. You know, birds are very active and they need a lot of food because they're burning up all that because of their activity. And so God gave them something special inside of them called a gizzard to help them to be able to digest their food quickly. Many birds will swallow some stones that they use with their gizzard to help this happen. So let's try a little experiment at home right now. Here's what you're gonna need. You need a zippered little baggie. You need some little rocks that maybe you can get outside, or you can even use aquarium gravel or something like that, but just stick them in the bag. And then you need a couple crackers, any kind of crackers, okay? All right, so you stick all that stuff in the bag and zip it closed. And then you're just gonna take your hands and you're gonna rub it, okay? Just for a minute, won't take long. And you're gonna notice, look how fast that crushed up those crackers. It took no time at all. Well, that's kind of how the gizzard works. The birds swallow those stones, and with the gizzard together, they're working, and they just grind it up so fast that it really only takes about 30 minutes to maybe 3 hours for a bird to digest a meal. But if it were a person or a different animal, it could take up to 2 days. So that's pretty cool how God designed them that way to keep them light. Their food goes in quickly, out quickly. God is an amazing creator.
Yeah, and that's not all. Bird feathers are lightweight too, see?
Yeah, they are. Look at this. Woo!
But even though they're light, they're strong. God made them so they work kind of like Velcro, locking together to be light but strong for when they're flying.
That's right. And these things couldn't just happen. God made them that way.
He sure did. Every bird I saw at that show was incredible.
That's for sure. But you know what, Reese?
What?
It's not just birds that are incredible. Every animal is incredible. God has designed each one in special ways. Take the beaver, for instance.
Oh, beavers are so cool.
They are so cool. They're so cool that engineers even study them to try to figure out how they do their building. You see, they can build their house in water, but no water gets in the house. It's so cool. And yet at the same time, it's not airtight because the chemicals that are bad they can get out that way, but the chemicals that are good, they can still be there. It's really awesome. He even gave beavers see-through eyelids so that when their see-through eyelids are closed, they can still swim around in the water and see. Isn't that cool? I mean, when we swim underwater, we can't do that, can we, Reese?
No way. I don't have any eyelids at all.
No, you don't, poor guy. But anyway, and they also have coverings over their nose and their ears, like flaps, so that they can't get water in them. I think that would be really fun too, right?
That is so incredible.
I know, I get water up my nose when I go swimming, I'll tell you that. So anyway, God thinks of everything when he designs these animals. Each and every animal is specially made.
Yeah, that kind of sounds like our echo phrase for the day.
It sure does. I think it's time to practice. All right, so I'm going to say it first, and then Reese and boys and girls, you do the second part. But let me say it all first. It goes like this. It couldn't just happen. God made them that way. All right, so let me say the first part. It couldn't just happen.
God made them that way.
Right. I love it. Now you say it first, and then I'll do it.
It couldn't just happen.
God made them that way. All right, well, you know how birds like to sing, Reese?
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking it'd be fun to try to sing our echo phrase. So I'm going to make something up about the first part, and then you can make something out about the second. And boys and girls, you can make up your own tune as well, okay? So here we go. It couldn't just happen.
God made them that way.
Okay, I think that was enough. Good, okay. I think I said that was enough. Stop. All right, boys and girls, you can make up your own. I think that's good. Okay, bye. Bye.
How much wood does a woodpecker peck when a woodpecker pecks on wood? When the woodpecker pecks, that woodpecker pecks as much wood as it should peck wood. God made the woodpecker on day 5. When he finished, he said it's good. How much wood does a woodpecker peck when a woodpecker pecks on wood? You'd think that woodpecker's bill would break or get a migraine when it eats. But God designed that woodpecker kind with a spring behind their beak. As they drill in a tree, it amazes me. Those birds don't break their necks. But how much wood does a woodpecker peck when they go peck, 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 peck? How much wood does a woodpecker peck when a woodpecker pecks on wood? When the woodpecker pecks, that woodpecker pecks as much wood as it should peck wood. God made the woodpecker on day 5. When he finished, he said it's good. How much wood does a woodpecker peck when a woodpecker pecks on wood? That woodpecker sounds just like a drum as he thumps against a tree. He blinks his eyes and the sawdust flies, he'll never miss a beat. God put a cushion in its head so its brains don't turn to mush. Put sticky stuff on its tongue so it can catch those buck, 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 bucks. How much wood does a woodpecker peck when a woodpecker pecks on wood? When the woodpecker pecks, that woodpecker pecks as much wood as it should peck wood. God made the woodpecker on day 5. When he finished, he said it's good. How much wood does a woodpecker peck when a woodpecker pecks on wood? When the woodpecker pecks, that woodpecker pecks as much wood as it should peck wood.
Whoa, let's go to the amazement park. IncrediWorld Amazement Park, where there are thrills by day and a fireworks display after dark. IncrediWorld Amazement Park. Oh, you don't need directions because it's everywhere. Just step outside your door and look, you're already there. A world that's filled with things that fly and spin and jump and run, all in 3D. It couldn't be more fun. Woo! Whoa, let's go to the amazement park. IncrediWorld Amazement Park, where there are thrills by day and a fireworks display after dark. IncrediWorld Amazement Park. Let's talk about the builder and all that he designed. From sea to mountain top, he built it all in record time. formed the heavens, every animal and waterfall. The great creator, come on, give it up for God, y'all! Yeah! Woo! Ride the cheetah, chase and raptor run, they're super, super fast. Hop on the crazy kangaroo, you're gonna have a blast. Be sure to see the dolphin dance and penguins on parade. Then give the Lord the glory for the wonders that He's made. Put your hands up in the air, yeah. It's time to take that ride. Put your hands up in the air, woo. And let the Lord be glorified. Put your hands up in the air, yeah. It's time to take that ride. Put your hands up in the air, woo. And let the Lord be glorified. Whoa, let's go to the amazement park. IncrediWorld Amazement Park, where there are thrills by day and a fireworks display after dark. IncrediWorld Amazement Park. Whoa, let's go to the amazement park. IncrediWorld Amazement Park, where there are thrills by day and a fireworks display after dark. IncrediWorld